How's it going, everybody? In this video, we're going to take a look at our next crypto topic, which is going to be using a Ipsec profile. Now, this is going to be slightly different than what we've taken a look at in the past, or videos up to this point, where normally we've used a crypto map and we've done some sort of either an access list to match on the source and destination traffic, or we've used an access list to match on the transport, specifically with GRE over IPsec. So using the GRE over IPsec model with a crypto map isn't that uncommon, but it's definitely not as it's not as clean, if you ask me, as it is if you use the Ipsec profile. Now, the Ipsec profile is going to eliminate the need for the crypto map. So we're going to be using a crypto map, or sorry, a crypto profile. And the profile itself, once it's built, is actually mapped to the tunnel interface itself. So then there's no longer a crypto map that's needed to be applied to the interface level. We simply will take the crypto profile, map it to the tunnel interface, and then it will be able to send the traffic. Any traffic that goes over the GRE tunnel will be encrypted. This eliminates the need for doing NAT exemption and things like that. Well, we'll take a look at this between a couple of iOS routers, and then we'll look at it in a separate video with a router and an ASA. In 9.7 code on the ASA is when the VTI tunnel, which is a separate topic altogether, which is doing basically raw IPsec, is supported. So we'll be taking a look at that in another video, but we'll take a look at exactly how that comes into play. So where we're going to be configuring this is between CSR3 and CSR6. So let's go ahead and grab out a line, and we're going to change the color to be red. So we're going to set up a peering from CSR3 to CSR6 and get this guy up and running so that we have these connections going back and forth. And then we're going to have a connection going between CSR6 and CSR3. And what we're going to do is we're going to get these guys to be able to send traffic via the tunnel this way and this way. So that's going to be our objective to do, is set up a configuration between tunnel 36 and tunnel between CSR3 and CSR6. So let's go ahead and actually take a look at exactly what that looks like. So we're going to be using the same configuration we've had so far, show IP interface brief. We're going to first go configure the tunnel. So interface tunnel 36. IP address is going to be 10.3.6.3/24. The tunnel source is going to be GRE1. The tunnel destination, in this case, is going to be 61.0.0.6. And the IP address, I've already configured the IP address. On CSR6, it's going to be interface tunnel 36. Tunnel source is going to be GRE1. Tunnel destination is going to be 31.0.0.3. And the IP address is going to be 10.3.6.6/24. Now that we have this, up to this point, we've got this configured. The next step that we have to go through is setting up the Ipsec profile. Now let's do show run all section crypto. Take a look at this real quick. If we come down here where it says the Ipsec profile, we're going to see that there's a profile here, right here. It says crypto Ipsec profile default, right? So we have this default default setup to where it's going to actually, if you jump out of global config and do a show crypto Ipsec transform set and hit the enter key, it's automatically going to default to ESP AES and ESP SHA HMAC. So because with the fact that we have those attributes already applied, we have to be careful, especially if we plan on doing anything with if we're not going to be, in a crypto map, if we don't specify a transform set, it automatically calls it. But in order for us to work with the Ipsec profile, we have to call a transform set. So what we can do is go to global config and type in crypto Ipsec, and we can say profile, and we're going to give this guy the IKEv1 profile, and go underneath here we can say set the transform set, and we have to give it a name, right? So if we don't give it a name, right? If we do show run section crypto, we don't give it a name, the logic would be to call the default transform set. So we can test this out. So let's go ahead and actually go through this step. We'll type in crypto IPsec profile is going to be IKEv1 profile, and we're not going to call this the we're not going to set the transform set. We're just going to let it go out of the gate and call it. So if we do show run section, do show run all section profile, we should see, we're probably going to, right here, and you'll notice that it does not call a specific transform set. So the likelihood of this working is probably pretty slim, but we're going to test it out anyway. So what I'm going to go do is I'm going to type in interface tunnel 36, and the tunnel protection is IPsec profile, and the profile name is IKEv1 profile. Right? So we've done that. So now we're going to grab the same config. Actually, I'll go on CSR3, and I'll type in interface tunnel 36, and we'll type in tunnel protection is IPsec profile, and the name of the profile is this guy right here. Now we've got that done, but you'll notice that the tunnel, this side went down, this side went down, right? So the problem is now that the interface is down. So if we do show crypto ISASA, we don't have a connection going between CSR1 or CSR3 and CSR6. If we do show run section crypto, we actually have to come in here and do a quick address addition. Let's exit out of here real quick and just do this and do a 31.0.0.3. Let's do the same thing on CSR3. Do show run section crypto. Gotta make sure that's working. And then we'll type in this command as well. And we'll do 61.0.0.6. And now we have a problem where we're, okay, the tunnel came up, which is good. So if we show crypto ISACamp SA, so it looks like it's up. And if we do a show crypto IPsec SA peer of, in this case here, it's going to be 61.0.0.6. It's not sending any traffic, but if we were to ping to 10.3.6.6, we just send 5 pings. So it is working. And if we look at this and we do the full setup, if we come through here, it's using the transform set of the default transform set. So it did work. So even though I wasn't sure if it would actually pick it up, it is. So now that we have that going, the next step for us to go do is to enable EIGRP over this. So we'll type in router EIGRP VPN address family IPv4 autonomous system 100, and then network of 10.3.6.0 0.0.0.255. Do show history, and I'll just grab these few lines of config, and then we'll dump them on CSR6, and we'll get an EIGRP adjacency over the top of that, which is great. We have that going, and now if we look at something like CSR7, we do a show IP route, we should see that we are going to be learning the 10.26 network now, which is what we expect to see, and then the 192.168.60 network. So what networks are these? This is going to be the VRF aware config over here behind CSR6. So that means if I was to do a ping to 172.26.0.8, sourcing from loopback 0, I should have no problem reaching it. If I hit the up arrow and try to do a trace, and do that numerically, we should have no problem crossing over our GRE over IPsec, but it's with a crypto profile. So let's go ahead and rehash that config real quick so just everybody's on the same page here. Let's look at the show run section crypto. We've created an IPsec profile right here, right? But we didn't call a transform set. If we show run all type section IPsec, we can see that we have the profile is right here, crypto IPsec profile default. We're calling the default profile, but because there is it's not calling a specific transform set, but because of the fact the show crypto IPsec transform set, because there is a default one there, it just grabs this one. So as long as you have a matching set of attributes, so you can, on one side you could be running the default transform set, on the other side you could be running a user created one, but as long as the attributes match, you should be fine. That's the key thing here. They're just the attributes inside of the transform set would have to be on the same page. And at this point here, that's the crypto profile. And that's actually pretty straightforward. It doesn't really make much, it's pretty straightforward in terms of how it comes into play. But one of the things I want you guys to see, if we look at the show crypto ISA essay, we look at the show crypto IPsec essay, and we look at there's a couple things that I want you guys to take a look at in terms of how this operates. If we look at if we do the pipe include ident and pkts and peer, what I want you guys to pay attention to is this top half is the connection from CSR3 to CSR5, and you'll notice that we're saying we don't care what the match is as long as it's protocol 47, which is GRE. Now in the profile, and this side right here, this particular variation here, this is GRE over IPsec. Where we're saying I just want you to match on protocol 47 traffic right here. And that's matching on the access list. When you go to match on the traffic at the profile level, which is what this one is, here we're saying as long as the source and destination are these devices and it's protocol 47, then allow the traffic to go across the wire. And if we look at the show IP EIGRP neighbors, we have a couple of peers. And that's the key thing here. We want to be able to pay attention to things like this. This is what makes the determining factor a little bit cleaner, because now we're no longer, whether you get the crypto map variation or you do the IPsec profile, it's up to you and how you really want it to show up. I think personally that the profile is a cleaner way of doing things. That's just my opinion on things. Just keep that in mind when you're looking at how the devices operate and stuff like that. I prefer to keep the configuration cleaner, because just remember, if we do a show run section crypto, and we call the crypto map, we have to do a couple things. We have to show IP access list. We have to maintain an access list to make sure that it's matching GRE traffic. We have to call that access list from the crypto map, and the crypto map has to be applied at the interface level. When you're dealing with the crypto profile, all you have to do is create the profile and then map it to the tunnel. That's the big thing here. So that's the point that I really wanted you guys to understand in terms of how it operates and things like that. So that's pretty much it. Until next time, guys, thank you so much for stopping by, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.